Initially, we have just used real API calls. So right now, without further ado, I'm going to show you the right way how to do it. So I've added and I've updated some fixtures. So for the fixture that's going to be responsible for the response whenever we add a new product, I've added some a login error that's gonna be like this. And again, it's the same thing as we have done in the user controller. For products controller, because we are dealing with testing and we don't care about links or even the last page. In this case, it's going to be 1 because we have provided only 1 page here. And for register error, it's going to be this kind of message that I have copied from the backend. And registered response, it's going to be like this whenever the user has been registered. And again, it's the same thing from the API. And for the removed from wishlist that we have done, at least whenever we removed a wishlist and assigned the wishlist ID to -1, indicating we have removed an item. In wishlist, it's going to be false, and product is going to be false. And for the user, I have updated my email and I have deleted actually the wishlist. I presume we have a newly created user, so that's why wishlist is empty. Now we're going to change the login, register, and toggle wishlist. So pretty much I'm going to remove this. I'm going to call it send login request. So it has to be dynamic in order to test multiple test cases, or in order to include multiple test cases. We need here to pass in a parameter the email and a password. Add another command, assert can log in with correct credentials. Another command, it's going to be assert cannot log in with wrong credentials. For the request, we're going to do send or register request. Assert can register. Assert cannot register when email exists. Send toggle request, click, and assert product is added to wishlist. And the last one, it is click and assert product is removed from wishlist. Inside the auth commands, we're going to delete all of this. And I'm going to show you how to do the commands correctly. So first of all, we need to load the fixtures dynamically. Create here a variable. I'm going to call it user fixture. That's going to be loaded dynamically. Login error fixture. That's going to be loaded whenever we have a wrong credential. And register fixture, register error fixture. And to preload these fixtures once per test. And this is very important because we need to make sure that our test is running regardless of the, if we want to, for example, test the authentication first or register first. Our test now, it's independent of each other. So before each, I'm going to load the fixtures and assign the data to the correct fixtures. So basically we're going to do here fixture and the name of the fixture that we want to load and assign the data. User fixture, it's going to be data. Let's copy this. Login error, it's going to be login error fixture. And let's define our first command. As usual, going to click the button to show the model, then wait. Then we want to create the interception endpoint. Instead of loading the fixture as we have done here in the navigation directly, we need to do it dynamically. In this request, what we want to do, first of all, we want to check if we have provided the correct credentials. So we're going to simulate that we have provided correct credentials. In this case, we want to return a status code of 200 and the user fixture or registered or authenticated fixture. Otherwise, we're going to reply with 401 and the login error fixture. So in order to do that, I'm going to create here just a simple function, has correct credentials, password and email. It's going to be Boolean as a return type. So if we provide this email and we provide this password, in this case, we are providing correct credentials and we're going to use it here. If has correct credentials and we're going to pass the email and password. In this case, the request going to reply with this kind of data. For the status code, it's going to be 200 body of the response user fixture. With the same manner, if we have provided wrong credentials, it's going to be 401 login error fixture as login request. After registering this request or intercepting this request, we want to fill the text fields and click on the button register. So let's go ahead and make our first assertion. Can log in with correct credentials. So we're going to wait as usual, wait for the response or wait for the interception to be done. Here we don't care about the data because we are using the fixture user, and it's useless to check whether we have the same email, the same password. Just make sure you have a coherence between what you have done here and what you're doing as, for example, you're testing whether it's the correct credentials or not. What you can do here, which is acceptable if you want to just to check that you have the correct response. This is not mandatory, but it's just a good thing to do here. It's not going to serve any purpose here, but we're going to do it. So what is very important here is what's going to be shown in the UI. So we want to make sure that, for example, something appearing or something not existing in our UI as you normally would if you want to run the application and you're going to write yourself the email and password and click on login yourself, and you're going to make a visual contact with the UI to test by yourself with your own eyes that you have provided the correct thing and you have the correct outcome. So let's go ahead and come back to the user menu, for example here, and I'm going to call it user menu. So we want to make sure that this component is visible. If this is visible, the user is authenticated. Why, you might ask? Because in toolbar we have a huge if statement here. So if the user is authenticated, it's going to show this kind of components. If it's not authenticated, it's going to still show the login button. So which is good assertion for in our case. So very simple. It's going to be Cypress and Git. And as usual, I'm going to copy this user menu. So it should be visible. Now for the other way or the other test case, incorrect credentials. This is not mandatory, but if you want to just check your the status code is 401, and which is very important, and we have to check that the alert exists. This component should, first of all, be visible. The content contain this sentence, so no such user found with given credentials. So let's copy this. Implement send a register request. All right, as usual, we're going to click on the button, wait for 500 milliseconds, and we're going to intercept put. Here it's going to be register. So instead of checking if we have correct credentials, I'm going to do email exists. If we provide this email, we're going to presume that it's already in our database. So email exists, give a response 500, and it's going to be register error fixture. Otherwise, it's going to be 201 and registered fixture. As simple as this. And I'm going to call it register request, and we have to fill the form and click on the register button. Now with the same thing, and let's do the first assertion. So the first assertion is going to be assert can register, because in the register form, we have something like, we are glad to have you with us with the full name. So that's why I have provided here the full name here. It's going to be full name and string. This is going to be register request 201. Instead of this, we're going to wait for 400 milliseconds in order to let the alert to be fully visible. Content, what we have done here, basically. In this case, we are sure that the alert message is shown with the correct message, indicating that our user has been correctly registered, without, of course, hitting the real API. With the same manner, cannot register when email exists. What is most important is this message should be visible and the text contain this feedback message. All we have to do is to change our end-to-end test in the authentication. First of all, we need to send a request, and we have to provide the email, the correct email, this password, and assert can log in with correct credentials. And that's pretty much it for the first test. So the second test case that we want to do is should not log in. So here we're going to do some random password, some wrong password. Assert cannot log in with wrong credentials. Uncomment this. As usual, going to send the request. Now we have to assert can register, and we have to provide the name, full name. So with the same thing, going to do the other test case. It will be should not register existing user, some registered user. What is important here is we have to assert cannot register when email exists. Implement the commands, the three commands that we have, send a request and do two assertions. Then we're going to come back to the home screen in order to do the changes. As usual, we're going to create here two variables going to be added to wishlist fixture and removed from wishlist fixture. And here's going to be added to wishlist and removed. Now we have to send the request. So as parameters, we need the product ID and should add the flag. First, we're going to intercept is going to be a get method. So API and wishlist and toggle attach the ID. In case we want to add a product, should added to wishlist fixture. Otherwise, it's going to be removed from wishlist fixture. And here it's going to be toggle wishlist request. And we don't have nothing to click here. So that's pretty much it for the request. We need to click first of all and assert product is added. So Cypress and commands. I'm gonna be using what we have done previously in the code that we have deleted. So we're going to look for the product with the index, scroll to the product, trigger mouse enter, and check if it's visible. Check this menu is visible. Look for the button and click on the button. It doesn't differ at all of what we have done previously. So we're going to wait for the response, and we're going to check if it's 200. And we had done this before previously. We have checked the local storage, corresponding product has been added in the local storage, and we have checked that the class or that the button has this material design icon, which indicates in our case that we have correctly added the product to our wishlist. So with the same manner, so click and assert product is removed. You can add mouse leave and mouse enter to see the animation, but it doesn't matter. So with the same thing, we're going to click on the button. Let's wait for the request and let's check if it's 200. And we need to make sure that the product is no longer in the cached wish list. And we need to check if the button has this material design heart outline. And that's pretty much it for the wishlist commands. So now let's go back to the end-to-end test under home screen, and we need to update this test. Beforehand, we have to send register request. So this is the correct credentials. Assert can log in with correct credentials because we cannot do anything if the user is not logged in. So let's wait for 500 milliseconds. That's enough. And after send toggle request or toggle wishlist request in our added to wishlist, we presume that we are adding the product of ID equal 1. So 1, what is the flag? It should be added. After sending the request, we need to make sure we need to click and assert product is added to wishlist. In this case, we want to do the index, which is 0. In our home screen, we have the first product, which has the index 0, is sunglasses, and its product's ID is 1. And with the same manner, it's going to be send the request. In this case, we want to delete the product from the wishlist, so it's going to be false. The flag is going to be false. Should remove, click and assert product is removed from wishlist with the same index. So that's pretty much it for the end-to-end tests. Now we will never hit anymore the API, a real API endpoint. So finger crossed, let's do the first test case. So let's go. We haven't changed anything here, so it should work as expected. So the test passes. Let's go ahead and run this, which is less complicated. So npm run. I think we have forgot to add oh, something is wrong here. So basically, First of all, we need to delete this because in case cannot log in with the incorrect credentials, we're not going to assert if the user menu is visible. So instead, we want to check this message if it exists in the alert. And the send request, we have forgot here to add, after intercepting, we need to add to toggle the button in order to fill the text fields. So let's go ahead and run the test. And the test is passed with green flying colors. Now the last test that we want to test is basically, let's go ahead in the package.json, and we need to see, it involves a lot of steps. So hopefully we didn't miss anything. So npm run and home screen. So it's gonna take a while. And here we go. All specs passed, which means that the test that we have done so far, loading products, should navigate to product details screen and can add and remove products from wishlist. And it includes, let's go back to the home screen. It includes adding, authenticating first, adding products and deleting products and asserting, and even we are checking in the local storage. So this is, in my opinion, the correct way to do so. If you have any other reusable stuff, I would be more than happy to see it and to use it if it's convincing, if you will. We have learned here in this section, first of all, we have tested with real API calls, but now we will never hit a real API call. We are telling Cypress to use the fixtures in order to provide the needed response. And you have to be very careful in the succession of the assertion. You have to make sure that you have provided all the details and whatnot. I think that's pretty much it. I hope you have learned something new. See you in the next tutorial, Android version of Pocket Goods. Happy coding!